BYOT. Bring your own tacos.
Dick swinging.
You're listening to American Slacker Podcast.
We can say fuck.
With Matthew Gertz and Jesse Landers.
I don't care, I've been smoking, this is cool.
That's a decent amount of sausage.
This man needs a doctor!
Yeah, I just hope they're tasty. What's up with these clowns, man? Cut the lights and went through people's pockets.
Don't you point that at each other.
Let them smoke a little. You need to step it up to that point. We're not gonna lead with the.
We're not gonna lead with
Welcome to American Slacker Podcast. As always, I'm Matt.
And I'm Jesse, and today we are joined by our guest, Joshua Strongin, also known as Jace.
Hey everyone, how you doing?
Thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You want to give our audience a little bit of background about what it is that you do?
Yeah, so I'm an illusionist and hypnotist. I perform magic at parties. I specialize in close-up sleight of hand with cards, coins, borrowed objects. I do some mind reading demonstrations and predictions, as well as hypnosis. I do a hypnosis stage show as well.
That's awesome.
Wow, what got you started in this?
About 5 years ago now, I was in college at the time. I was back in college at the time. And I didn't know anyone, again, because I was re-entering. And everyone I knew graduated. So I had to come back, and it was kind of a fresh start. And I wanted to kind of change things up and be known as someone different, since everyone in my area typically goes to a community college. So it's kind of like you're in high school all over again.
Yep.
So being reborn in this way, being able to have a quote unquote second chance, I decided to take a chance and relearn some of the things I learned when I was very young, like 9, from magic camp. And then it just worked out and I loved it. And a semester later, I left college and just started doing this. And I've been doing it ever since.
You took a passion from when you were a child and just kind of rebirthed it into something even bigger.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really cool.
And I have to say, Matt and I are both really interested in magic, illusion, and
oh my
mentalism too.
Yes,
something that's always interested us. It's like trying to perform it from time to time, but more, I think we love watching it more so.
I wish we recorded. We went to Vegas a couple years back, and we both went to a magic shop. And we were in our glory. We're there for an hour. Me and him looking around. We're buying shit. We bought tricks, and I wish we recorded us being the fucking sad individuals trying to perform these tricks, because it was probably just I would probably cringe watching it today.
Yeah, it's so the amount of skill and practice that it takes to pull these off. Well, kudos to you.
Honestly. Yeah, man. I definitely understand it's an art.
Thanks, I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I mean it takes time. There are certain things that are harder than others as far as execution of the magic effect goes, but I personally think everything comes down to performance as far as being a magician goes, because I think anyone can do a magic trick. It's very easy to do. Anyone can do that, but if you can get your audience to feel something because of that magic trick, or have them see something differently because of that magic trick, then it ceases to be a magic trick and it becomes an art form and just magic.
That's a good perspective on it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it provides a much more full experience to the audience when a performer has that perspective.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that a lot of people initially don't understand that. It's one of the reasons that I also wanted to come on here and just explain that to people, because people see magic generally as something that's fun, and yeah, it is fun, but it can also have an impact on someone if you present it in the right way.
Very true.
Yeah. The real wonder you leave in their mind. I mean, there's a lot of thoughts that you're going to provoke with that, if you do it well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's this new magic effect that I just learned yesterday and performed for the first time for my family yesterday. And the ending is just incredible. It's something that I'm definitely going to be using and putting in my shows from now on because it is that powerful. And in fact, it's what I'm going to end every show with.
Wow.
Okay. And I bet the ending of those tricks, like, are the satisfying feeling. It's got to be so like addicting. Like, it's got to be a drug of its own, almost. Like when you like get that feeling and watch the awe appear.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's like it feels so good to just be able to have that impact on someone, and like you can also see this with other performers. You can see this, like, if you look back at the videos of when Robin Williams did stand up, you can see like how happy he got when he was performing and got the reaction from people that he got, whether it be shock and awe in some cases. In some cases, it was just hysterical laughter and people couldn't stop. I mean, you could see that how much he loved it and see how and what the impact that he had, and he realized the impact he had, and that's just like that's just from making people laugh, which is like I think magic of its own.
Yeah, and you can argue that's a version of hypnosis on its own. I've heard many comedians say it. You know, it's you really have them under a spell. You know, it's just that full attention and just being in that moment all together.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, there's something about it that's just more than just listening and talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, people who perform on stage like comedians and even especially politicians,
right?
They all have very hypnotic kind of ways of talking and patterns if you analyze their speeches and such.
Yeah, there's a team behind it to make sure that it's tight and fit like that, right?
Yeah.
Now, with some of the things that you've been talking about, something that comes to mind is I'm sure you're familiar with Darren Brown.
Yep.
Some of the things that he was working on recently, like Miracle and The Push, some of those things that have gone out on Netflix. I never made the connection until you just said it earlier about making an emotion within the person. I didn't realize that that's why I liked a person like Darren Brown so much with the way that he does things, is because it does make you feel something afterwards. And it's not just like, oh, that was a cool thing to see. It's actually like, oh, I felt something because of that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Darren Brown is, I mean, he's very seasoned. He's been doing this for years and years, every single day of his life. So he knows exactly what he's doing, and he tailors his whole act towards his audience and people to make them feel what he wants them to feel, but not in a forced way. He does it in a way.
It's very natural.
A very natural way, because he knows that what he's doing is natural. And he connects it to the audience so they will be able to feel this feeling in a way that isn't forced. Because if I were to, for example, try and tell someone how this makes me feel when I do this, it wouldn't have an impact on you, because there's no way for me to make you feel how I feel or see the world how I see it. But if I can have you see something or feel something completely on your own because of how I'm presenting it, again, coming down to presentation, then that is exactly the goal that I think every magician should strive towards. And there's many magicians out there who do this. Darren Brown is just one of them. Joshua J is another one. He was doing, I'm not sure if he's still doing his show in New York, but he had a show in New York where he was doing that. There's Adam Wilbur. Adam Wilbur is very good. He owns a company out in California, and he's very good at doing this, having people feel like they've seen more than just magic, or that they've paid for more than just a magic act.
Yeah, it really is an experience.
Yeah, an experience, a moment.
Yeah.
Really awesome.
Yeah, and it's funny because you can really tell the difference when it's like somebody's presenting it as that 2D act, like, you know, like how we just wanted to learn a trick. You know, it's just like when you can tell when somebody's just treating it like a trick, and it's like a kid's birthday party magician type deal, and it's not a full on incorporation of like everything.
Yeah, no, I understand that completely.
Yeah.
And I mean, you start talking about kids' birthday party magicians, and that thing is the thing with that is it's hard to have kids feel what you want them to feel to an extent because they're so scatterbrained all the time.
Oh yeah.
They can't focus on one thing for too long. So you kind of, kids magician kind of has to be like, we're going to do this one in 1 minute and then this one the next minute and this one the next minute. You can't just spend time on one effect the whole entire time.
Yeah, you got to make things appear and stuff.
Yeah, flashy.
Yeah,
flashy things, colorful. Yeah.
Now you mentioned some of your concentration is in like borrowed items and close up sleight of hand.
Mm-hmm.
What does that entail for any of the listeners that don't quite know what that means?
So I perform with playing cards mainly, and I'll do things where I'll destroy a card and restore it. I'll have a card be lost in a deck completely, having the spectator shuffle it, and then I'll find it, or they will find it.
Oh wow!
I'll do things with coins where I'll make them disappear in the spectator's hand, or I'll do it where it's in my hand, or we'll change the coin completely, or we'll deform the coin.
Huh.
I'll do things with silverware. I don't do it with other people's silverware because I don't want to do that to someone else's fork or spoon and whatnot.
Yeah, you're gonna end up with some bills walking out if you go in there and destroy all the cutlery.
Yeah, that's why I always bring my own, but I always make sure it's a good brand, nice and sturdy, so it's not like a fake or gimmicks fork or spoon or whatever. It's completely real and whatnot, and people get to keep all these things at the end of my performance.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's cool. That's a smart idea. Yeah.
Little keepsake.
Yep.
That's funny. Yeah. And it's like, how the fuck did he do this? And they're playing with it. Like, that would drive a person nuts.
Well, then they can also see, like, look, it's real. You know, there's no trickery to like the item itself.
They're down at the bar at the end of the night. And they're like, I watched a man take this fork and bend it in a circle.
Yeah, right.
Mind.
Now, what kind of venues work best for that kind of stuff?
So I do close-up strolling magic, which is perfect for things like cocktail hour, for a wedding or any kind of party, or a private family party. And then I also do a parlor show, which is good for, I would say, depending on if I have a camera or not to project something on like a big screen. Okay. If I don't have that, then I would say it's good for like 50 people.
Okay.
If I do have that, then I could do it for like 200 because everyone can still see everything that's going on because of the projector up there.
Right.
You really want that intimate where they could see everything then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess because if you have a huge audience and the people all the way at the back and you're just like a tiny little speck, and then you're doing stuff in your hands too, that would make it kind of difficult.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of gets lost. Again, we go back to the experience. You want to make sure that those people are getting the full impact of it.
Yeah. I mean, I want them to be able to get the full impact, and I want them to get their money's worth also, because I mean, if I'm doing this in a theater, they're paying individually, and it's not like a holiday party or something, then I want them to be able to feel like they're getting just the same experience as the people who are in the front. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's great on you to think of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, I always think of my clients because I think of how I would want to be treated if I were them, and what experience I would want out of whoever I would be booking.
Right. Has there been like a favorite place that you've done so far, like a notable show that you're like, this is like, that was awesome?
I did a few years ago perform at Webster Hall. That was pretty fun.
Oh wow.
Oh wow, man.
I performed for a holiday party at Webster Hall in the city. That's
pretty notable. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a good time. I performed at country clubs. That's always a good time to do, just because I got started in table magic at restaurants. So it's what I'm best at. It's what I'm used to. So I would go around to tables after people order their food, introduce myself, ask them if they want to see some magic. And if they do, awesome, then I go for it. And if not, then I just tell them to have a nice day. And I mean, that's probably where I'm most comfortable, just because, again, it's how I started out.
See, I tried doing that for a while, but every time I walked up and said, want to see me make your whiskey disappear? People just, they just told me to leave.
You gotta buy him one first. That's why.
Yeah, that's where I was going wrong with it. Good point. That's pretty cool, though, in terms of, like, that's something I hadn't considered, like, with say like a wedding or something. That would be a really cool thing. Like if I went to a wedding and like all of a sudden someone wandered up to the table and was like, "Hey, you want to see some tricks?" I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, I want to see some tricks." Let's do it.
I mean, weddings are a lot of fun to do. I have a specialized wedding set that I do
Oh, wow.
for the bride and groom. That's maybe 15 minutes long. And it's just, it's a beautiful, gorgeous set that really just ties the whole entire day together.
Okay. That's cool. So you kind of like work a theme to where it is, where you're at, sort of?
I try to, depending on what it is. I try to work something in there.
It's cool. It's a lot like comedy, it sounds like.
Yeah, no, they both have a lot of things in common. I mean, with comedy, you have to tailor it so it's, you start, you can either start big or like rise up. And magic is kind of the same way, where I like to do either one of those two. I have two versions where I'll start low and then it'll get more amazing as time goes on until it gets to the climax, and then it'll go down a little bit until it kind of comes down to a nice, easy resolution. And I have one where I start off really strong, where it's just like bam, and then there's another one, bam, and bam, bam. It takes time.
Yep.
But there are different ways to do it. Just like a comedian can tailor their show to something like where they do it in short little stories and that aren't connected, or they can do one big long kind of theme where it's all connected in the end.
Yeah, that's I never realized like you're our first person from like the magic and illusion world that we've talked to, but we've always been interested in comedy, so it's cool to see the parallels between those kinds of performances and the juxtapositions in certain cases.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, I have a lot of respect for comedians because I don't know how they do what they do. I can't stand up stage and tell jokes for like a prolonged period of time. I don't even like being on stage that much, to be honest. It's not my thing. I get a little freaked out beforehand.
I could understand. I mean, it's a lot of eyes on you. It seems like the interpersonal stuff might be more where you feel at home.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it takes it away from spotlight to where you're including people in it. It's a group thing, yeah.
More like a conversation, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I saw that throughout between the documentary that was done on you from SUNY New Paltz.
Yes.
And some of the stuff in your demo reel, that it looks like hypnosis is also something that you specialize in.
Yeah, so I've been doing hypnosis for a little over a year now. And pretty much I took a break from learning any new magic for that 1 year.
Oh, wow.
Just because I wanted to refine hypnosis as much as possible for 1 year and get a very clear understanding of what it is and what it isn't and how to perform it. And I feel like over this year of just studying nonstop, I definitely was able to achieve that. And it's just something that is so completely incredible and beyond amazing, because it really is like a real superpower.
I can imagine, like, the first time you pulled it off, was it like fucking insane? You were like, oh my God, it works.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I couldn't show that it was like the excitement on my face, because I didn't want people to know that was my first time doing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, afterwards I told them, but I didn't want people to know that it was my first time doing it during it. And I didn't want people to kind of think, if this is his first time doing it, then how does he know what he's doing, type deal.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. Man, that's wild.
Oh no, it's incredible. And I mean, once it happened, I was so excited, and I just spent a good, I would say, about an hour just performing with these two people. I could have performed with all of these people. There were 4 of them, but then I wouldn't have had an audience.
Yep, right. Can't hypnotize the whole crowd.
What are some of the typical things that you would do when you hypnotize somebody?
So when I hypnotize someone, I'll usually have the person or people forget a number.
Okay.
They'll
wow.
either stop right before the number because they can't remember it, or they will skip right over it.
Huh.
And so I'll have them count their fingers on their hands. So they'll count like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Oh, you got 11 fingers now, huh?
Yeah.
Whoa. That's freaky.
And sometimes they'll be like, yeah, that's right. Or sometimes they'll say something like, no, I don't have 11 fingers. And they'll count again, and they'll still be 11.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's incredible. I love it.
And can this be done to anyone? Does it have to be like someone in particular in terms of like suggestibility and stuff?
So as far as entertainment hypnosis goes, because I'm on stage or I'm doing stuff close up, I only have a certain amount of time I can get someone into hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have for like a clinical type setting where I could spend 45 minutes trying to get someone into trance.
Right.
I have to do it in like, maybe at the most I have 3 to 5 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
So I have to do it really fast. So I do suggestibility tests beforehand to see who would be the best people to do this with.
Okay.
And then afterwards, I use those people and put them into hypnosis typically. With that said, everyone can go into hypnosis. It's just a matter of time, method, and also we go into trance like every single day of our lives. The average person goes in and out of hypnosis, which is just a trance state, 7 times a day.
I feel like I get it driving a lot.
Yes,
if it does happen to me, that's when it happens. Driving
is a big one because trance occurs when you're driving, when you make all the correct turns without even thinking about it, and then you end up at the destination that you want to be at, or you maybe miss the exit that you're supposed to get off on the highway.
Yep.
So that's a trance state.
A lot of times I'll feel it like coming home from work on like, the 5th day of doing that same drive. I'll be like, oh, wow, I'm already home. I don't really remember the last
20 minutes.
the 15-minute drive home or whatever it was.
Yeah. So what's going on there is your conscious mind is going to rest and your subconscious is taking over, because your subconscious knows how to do this already. So your conscious mind doesn't really need to be present there. So it kind of just takes a back seat for the moment.
I'm good. You got this. You got this.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. You got this. I don't need to be here. And then if there were to be something that happened, like there would be a car to stop short, then your conscious mind would wake up and you would immediately hit the brake.
Wow.
That's wild.
And I'd hope it'd be a quick wake up too in that case.
Yeah, it would. Because you're actually more alert in hypnosis than you are in a conscious state.
Oh wow.
Really?
Does that have anything to do with when people talk about like flow state or anything? That's probably like a trance like state, I would almost guess then, where
a bit, yeah. I mean, so think of the conscious mind as a shotgun. So you have a wider spread and wider array of things that you can hit, but think of the subconscious when you're in a trance state as a rifle. So you can hit things individually with very precise accuracy. So it's a lot easier to focus in a trance state when you're in hypnosis and be able to achieve what you want. Like if you want to say, get rid of your phobias or whatnot, it's a lot easier to do that in hypnosis than it is in a conscious state.
Okay.
Wow.
That's wow. Yeah, that's deep. It's weird to think that our brain sort of has two settings that are flipping back and forth on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our brains are incredible. We know a lot more than we did know, but I think there is so much more potential in than we think we have, or than we even know.
I could definitely see that being true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, in terms of suggestibility tests, is there a way to find out whether or not Matt or I are more suggestible?
Yeah, definitely. There's a way. Yeah, we can try something if you want.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Right.
I feel like I have a strong willpower, but I'm gonna let that all go.
Yep. We'll
And
see.
be as cooperative as possible, unlike I have been through most of my life.
Yeah, that sounds good. So your listeners can try this also. The only thing I say is that if you're driving, you should probably pause the video or the audio, because I don't want them to go into trance while they are driving.
Good call.
Me, because that
Pull
would
the
be
fuck
bad.
over, people, right now. Pull the fuck over. We're not liable for what you do.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be the one who's liable if you get an accent or something. So as long as you're not driving or operating heavy machinery, stuff like that, then feel free to go ahead and do this. Just it'd be best if you're doing this where you're just sitting stationary, sitting still. You can do the standing if you want, but I mean, sitting's always more comfortable anyway. So I want you guys to do me a favor and hold your hands out in front of you with your palms facing one another.
Touching or just a little bit away from each other?
Just a bit away from each other, and then bring them together and touch them. And then interlock your fingers.
Okay.
Yep, and grip your hands just like that. That's perfect. Yep, fairly firm, not too tight, but fairly firm. And then extend your index fingers. Good. And keep it so there's a little space in between there, not too much, but a bit. Just like that. That's perfect. And hold it so your hands are right in front of your face. And I want you to just look at this very tip of your fingers where there's the space right in front of your fingers. And so to go into trance state, you need to be able to focus and relax. So we have the part down where we are focusing right on that spot. We need to be able to relax. So on 3, you could take a deep, relaxing breath in through your nose and out your mouth. 1, 2, 3. And out. And again, 1, 2, 3. And out. Good. And keep taking these nice, relaxing, cleansing breaths and focus on that point. And I want you to use your imagination and imagine that there are magnets on the ends of your fingers. And every time you hear this sound right here, those magnets get 10 times stronger. Bring your fingers closer and closer together. Really focus on this and visualize it. And every time I snap, those magnets get 10 times stronger, bringing your fingers closer and closer together. If you feel like your fingers want to come together, you can just let them. You don't have to fight it. You're doing a great job. Allow every sound you hear, every word I say, every breath you take to relax you more and more and more, and help you focus more and more and more. And once they come together and touch, just close your eyes. You're doing a great job. Really focus on this and visualize it. If your fingers aren't touching now, just let them touch. You're doing a great job. And once they touch, just close your eyes. Because now I want you to imagine that not only are your fingers magnetized, but your hands are completely magnetized as well. And every time I snap, that magnetism gets 10 times stronger. Every time I snap, allow that magnetism in your hands to get 10 times stronger. You may find this easy to do, or you may find this effortless. Just allow every sound you hear, every word I say, and every breath you take relax you more and more and more. Because now, not only are your hands completely magnetized, but they are also glued together with the strongest crazy glue in the world. Really focus on this and visualize it. Really use your imagination and creativity. Every time I snap, that glue becomes 10 times stronger. You're doing a great job. Don't try yet, but if you were to try and take your hands apart, you wouldn't be able to, because the reality is they are completely magnetized and they are completely glued. Really focus on this and visualize it, because I know you feel relaxed. And the deeper you go into this feeling, the better you'll feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go, allowing this feeling to spread throughout your whole body with every sound you hear, every word I say, and every breath you take. Because now, not only are your hands completely magnetized and glued, but they're welded together. They're one big, solid, welded ball of steel. Really visualize this, focus on this, and make this become your reality. And every time I snap, that welding becomes 10 times stronger. Really focus on this and visualize it. This may happen 5 seconds from now, or it may happen now. Doing a great job. Really focus on this and visualize it, allow it to become your reality. On 3, you're going to try and take your hands apart. The more you try, the more they're going to be stuck, because the reality is they are completely magnetized, they are completely glued, and they are completely welded. 1, 2, deep breath in. 3.
It worked for me. I was in a trance for a minute. Like, you had me with the magnets.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, this is weird. And I think I snapped myself out of that for a minute.
I think it's also part of having headphones on and being very aware of the fact that we're being recorded.
Yeah, but no, like for a second I was like, all right, this is getting weird. My fingers, I couldn't pull my fingers apart, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, and mine was it felt locked until I like sort of opened my eyes at the end.
Yeah.
So just for your audience members, because some people might have their hands stuck still right now. So just for them right now, when I snap my fingers again, your hands are going to be completely free and completely unlocked. Deep breath in on 3. 1, 2, 3, and there we go.
Yeah, we don't want to leave anyone locked
Can you
together.
imagine?
That would suck.
They would eventually come out of it, because there's no report of anyone ever being stuck in hypnosis.
Okay.
In the history of ever.
Okay, good. I always wondered about that.
Yeah, there's no case of anyone ever being stuck in hypnosis, because hypnosis is a natural phenomenon. I mean, because we go in and out of it every day, we would eventually come out of it. If I were to hypnotize someone and leave them in a hypnotic sleep state, they would come out of it at some point, even if I were to just walk away.
So it's not like the whole idea of, a secret agent spy who's been hypnotized and with the snap of a finger or ring of a bell, they, jump into action or whatever because they've been hypnotized.
I mean, if you're talking about sleeper agents and stuff, then yeah, that stuff is very real.
Oh, wow. Really?
That stuff could be very possible. Yeah, because when I do hypnosis for clinical purposes, I do it for things to erase traumas from people's past or help them cope with it, rather. So, I mean, if I'm able to do that, then I think people are very programmable.
Okay.
I'm just doing it in a positive kind of way.
Which is probably the only way you should do it.
Yeah, it's definitely the only way you should do it. I mean, I think, agencies may use it for other purposes, but
good point. Wow, I do have to say I do feel a little bit more like almost relaxed. In a way, it did feel like a bit of a meditation.
Yeah, it's a little bit like meditation, but hypnosis I feel is deeper, because meditation you're typically just doing it yourself, whereas
self-reflection,
whereas hypnosis is you're training yourself to first be able to get there, and then someone's there to help you get even deeper than that.
Yeah.
You need that guidance almost to really get to the deepest state.
Yeah. And meditation kind of teaches you how to have everything just leave your body, whereas hypnosis teaches you kind of to have things both, because with meditation I feel like you kind of to relax, so you lose kind of everything that's going on around you and don't pay attention to it, whereas hypnosis is you're more aware.
Okay. It's sort of waking the subconscious.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. If any one of our listeners, that was listening to this, ended up going into a trance, and please write on our American Slacker Facebook group. I want to hear what your experiences were as you listen to this. I'd be really interested, because I'm almost thinking because listening to podcasts sometimes too, I end up getting into sort of like maybe meditative or trance-like state, where it's just like, oh shit, I've been listening to this for 10, 15 minutes, but I don't really remember what they said.
Yeah, definitely. I get that all the time, especially with like you were talking about driving. That happens to me all the time when I'm driving.
Yep.
When I'm driving, I never even realize like I've been driving this long, or I missed my exit or whatnot. Sometimes it has to kick in for me to realize that, I'm already have to make this turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those exits will sneak up on it. Now, I wanted to ask you about your website name is I Hate Wands.
Yeah.
You hate them that much?
So there was this guy, I don't remember what his name was now, but he had a show called I Hate Rabbits, and he was a magician. So it was kind of easy to decipher why he would pick that name and whatnot. He's not the typical kind of magician. And I started thinking about that, and I said, well, I can't use that because he's using that for his show.
Right.
So I decided to come up with I Hate Wands. And it's just because I don't really do kids' parties, and I'm not a magician who's going to be doing the kind of usual hokey magic that you see, or like, for lack of a better term, I guess, grandpa's magic.
Okay.
You mean there's not going to be an abracadabra?
No.
Really?
Alakazams, huh?
No.
All out? Damn it.
No, I like the name. I think it's funny. I Hate Wands.
Yeah, I mean, everyone I run into seems to think it's really funny, and like they instantly get it the second that they see it on my card and whatnot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a marketing technique as well. I like it.
Yeah, definitely.
And you have some more examples of hypnosis on your YouTube channel, I believe, right?
Yes. Last year I did so technically the first show the hypnosis show we were talking about, that technically was my first show, but I didn't get it on my phone or anything because I was so in the moment and didn't want to break that concentration.
Right.
But the second show I did with hypnosis is on my website. Or not on my website. It's on YouTube.
Nice.
Okay.
And you can see that for free. It's like 40 minutes, something like that. And then there's going to be a new video of magic or hypnosis 2 times a month now.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
On my YouTube channel. So that's going to be a regular thing I'm going to try and keep up, because I feel if I were to do 4 videos a month, 1 for each week, it would just be too much and overkill for myself. Because I mean, I do have other things to do.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and a lot goes into production, man. People realize, even if it's a 5-minute video, it's like a lot of work goes into it.
Yeah, I mean, I have to sit in front of my computer for a few good hours just to get that 5 minutes video. I mean, I'm got better at it, so I can cut it down to maybe an hour and a half of just production time. But it still takes time and it's work.
Oh yeah. And you're on I Hate Wands on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And do you generally like shoot and edit and do that kind of stuff yourself?
So I usually have someone else shoot the video. I'll usually have a friend who knows how to shoot magic or is familiar with it, or someone that I trust enough to be able to do it. There's someone new that I met who I've been teaching how to shoot magic lately, and he's been doing a good job. You'll see some of his work in the next video on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
and he's been doing a good job as far as the editing and everything. That's all me, and it's been a little bit of a journey learning some new programs.
What program are you using?
I just started using DaVinci.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And I like it. It's a good program, but my computer does overheat a little bit every now and then. So I need to invest in a laptop fan. So I can do this a little more so my computer doesn't overheat and like black out.
Right.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that, man. Your Instagram is I Hate Wands as well, right?
Yes.
Where else can the people get at you?
People can find me at ihatewands.com. It's my website. They can also find me on Facebook, I Hate Wands, and
Awesome.
Twitter, I Hate Wands.
Very smart, man. He kept it
Good branding.
Equal across the board. I like that.
I also have Instagram for my clinical hypnosis on Instagram, and I have one on Facebook as well. Both are Hypnosis for Change, all one word.
And is that all in person that you do that, or can you conduct that over like a Skype call?
I can do that over a Skype call, or I can do it over a phone.
That makes it convenient. Nice.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Josh. It's been a lot of fun, man, and we're looking forward to seeing the content that you create in the future.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited to show everyone and hear back from you guys about what you think about it as well.
Oh yeah, we'll be
definitely.
watching, man.
We'll be pushing that out on all of our social for you.
I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, and if you want to check out our social media, get at us on Facebook at American Slacker Podcast, where you can find the American Slackers group, where all the other slackers are. Also, check out Instagram, American Slacker Podcast. You'll find us there, and aspodcast.com.
You can also find us over on Twitter and Reddit at AMERSLKR Podcast. Check out our YouTube channel. Just search American Slacker Podcast. Rate and review us on iTunes, and please tell a friend about the show.
And if you want to send us an email, americanslackerpodcast@gmail.com. And you can find us on Spotify. You can find the show and the playlist with all of the artists that we featured on the show and had on the show. American Slacker Podcast. You'll find us there.
Don't forget, you can also support the show at our Patreon, patreon.com/American Slacker Podcast. Tons of rewards up there and all kinds of good stuff. So go check it out. Josh, again, thank you for coming on. Everyone be sure to go check out his stuff on YouTube, Instagram, anywhere you can get at him.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was a real pleasure.
Pleasure's ours, man.
Anytime.
And thank you, everybody, for tuning in with us. And we love each and every one of you. Until next time, that's it.
There you go.